Okay.
Hi, my name is Bob Hunt, and happy to be part of the art competition here that the Cumberland Arts is holding this year. I'm actually a lifelong East Side resident of Indianapolis and this area, and I've been painting actually I painted my first oil painting when I was probably in 3rd or 4th grade. I don't remember. My mother was an oil painter, and so my very, very earliest memories are of watching her paint in an art group and so forth. So I've been fascinated with it lifelong, and I've started more seriously since I retired from my day job back in 2014. I've kind of gone back and I do a lot more painting now. So I'm actually doing a series on the pandemic, so this fits in well to a lot of the things that I've been working on. The two that I'm entering here for this competition, this piece here is one of the newly initiated revived car hops at the local Steer Inn restaurant at 10th and Emerson in Irvington. And as a response to the pandemic and a lot of the restaurants struggling mightily, the Steer Inn discovered, my goodness, we have an incredible resource here. We were built for car hops, and so they revived the car hop business. They put up big signs, and the girls went from being waitresses and donned masks, and I went out and asked if I could paint some of them, and they readily agreed. And so I've got some great images here of one of the car hops here waiting on one of the cars in the mask. So persevering in spite of everything that's happening in the current environment is kind of the theme. The other painting I've got here, this gentleman, pictured here, is Tommy Dant, and he owns James Dant Clothier in what would be called downtown Irvington, I guess you could call it, a little strip right there in the center of Irvington. And I was just walking down the street there on Washington Street, and Tommy stepped out the door, and I almost ran right into him, and I looked at him, and then I looked at the sign that he has posted in his window and that I'd seen before, and I always thought was pretty neat. It says, "Hoosiers will see it through." And the juxtaposition of him standing in the doorway and the look that he had about him, he's got a fairly unique look. And I said, "May I paint you?" And so on the spot, he agreed, believe it or not, to a portrait. And I went ahead and photographed him, and then I painted this portrait based on that, because I think this portrait kind of encapsulates more than anything else I've done during the pandemic about the perseverance of Hoosiers. We'll find a way, we'll see it through. And that's pretty much where the art comes from.